Hello everyone, it's Imran here. Welcome back to another video. So I'm going to react to another Thomas and Friends audio story by Kiefer Adams. This one was up yesterday. It's episode 5 of season 7, the final season, which is Sodor and the Rainbow Sun. I was meant to react to this yesterday, but I didn't get the time to record. Yesterday I did, so you're gonna get a double dose of audio story reaction today. I'm gonna react to this one, and then I'll react to Prehistoric Stephanie, which was uploaded this morning. Afterwards I will. So last week was what was last week? I think was what was last week's audio story? What was episode 4? Oh, don't tell me I've forgotten. Episode 4 of audio stories was what was it? I can't remember. I actually can't remember. But if you want to see Match to the Last Story out, I'll have it up in the top right corner of your screen. Yeah. Sodor and the Rainbow Sun. So Rainbow Sun was obviously the American steam engine that appeared in Shining Time. It's station it did. I'm pretty sure it appeared in Magic Railroad as well. This audio story does take place after the events of Magic Railroad. So yeah, the last Magic Railroad style story in the audio story series. So yeah, it's definitely going to be interesting. It's definitely going to be interesting to see what happens in the story. And Gordon, so the engine's think that another troublesome engine will be gracing the rails, and Gordon's going to get quite fright. Story centered around him, so it's going to be interesting. Link for I'm reacting to in the description down below as always. Without further ado, let's go ahead and get straight into this.
Sodor and the Rainbow Sun. Written and told by Kiefer Adams. "It was nice of you to get us in trouble because of what the boss did," Dodge grumbled as he and Splatter stood in a siding ready to go home. "How was I supposed to know he was after some lost engine?" Splatter insisted. "And besides, you told Sir Topham Hatt we would offer our services." "No, the boss told us to offer our services." "Well, if that old steam kettle hadn't left, oh, would you knock it off? I tell you what, I'm not going to be on this railway ever again. I'm not going to be here if you're not going to be here." "Well, that's fine by me. Shall we go back to mainland?" "Yeah, let's go." "All right, fine, good, fine." The Diesels waited for their path to be clear before they scampered off.
Wow.
They didn't look back to the island of Sodor until they crossed the bridge to the other railway. With or without Diesel 10, they had confirmed, they would never again set foot on Sudrian rails.
Or you mean set wheel?
Meanwhile, the other engines of Sir Topham Hatt's railway weren't too bothered about Splatter and Dodge's departure, or the fact that there was no trace of Diesel 10 after he had chased Thomas and Lady across the island. For all they knew, things were returning to normal, and Thomas was the happiest of all. He was pleased that Lily had reunited with her grandfather and had rekindled their relationship.
Yep.
And he was even more happy when Edward and Sir Topham Hatt returned from their holiday. Thomas had to admit that Edward looked much better and well rested from the journey away. And as he puffed along back to the shed, he could sense in the bottom of his smoke box that things were slowly getting back to normal for the engines of Sodor. That evening, as Percy pulled into the big station to drop off his mail trucks, he looked into Sir Topham Hatt's office.
Speaking with Mr. Conductor.
Through the window, he can just see him talking to Mr. Conductor. "Oh dear," Percy quivered. "Mr. Conductor's going to be in trouble after what Diesel's done." Percy could just hear the conversation through a little archway through the window. "I feel the engines worked hard for you, Mr. Conductor," Sir Topham Hatt was saying. "Are you sure the Rainbow Sun will be the ideal reward for them?"
"Oh
yes, indeed," replied Mr. Conductor. "He should be with us tomorrow morning." "Excellent," said Sir Topham Hatt. "It's time that Rainbow Sun came to see my railway." "Oh dear," groaned Percy. He hurried away and was lucky to be out of sight just as Sir Topham Hatt looked out of the window, in case someone was listening. Percy was quick to tell the others when he returned. "Couldn't this have waited until morning?" grunted Henry. "Edward's just come home, and the first thing you want to talk about is another visitor." But what if this rainbow sun is worse than Diesel 10? Insisted Percy. And he comes from Mr. Conductor's railway too. Oh, great, that's all we need, said James. He'll probably sound like a stuck-up pompous engine like Diesel was, said Gordon. After all, there's too many of those if you ask me.
Wow.
Yes, and I'm looking at 3 of them, muttered Thomas.
Oh.
All right, that's it.
Oh, Thomas with the roasting Henry, Gordon and James in one shot right there. I gotta listen to that again.
Me? Yes, and I'm looking at 3 of them, muttered Thomas. All right, that's enough, interrupted Edward.
If anyone had interrupted, then Henry, Gordon and James would have gone off at him right there.
All I want to do now is just settle back here with you lot. I didn't come home to hear bickering. Well, maybe if you weren't dreaming about Our Lady, this wouldn't have happened, grunted James. Be that as it may, said Edward, I'm glad to be home and with you all. And whatever this rainbow sun is like, we're going to make them feel welcome, aren't we? Thomas and Percy were on board, but Gordon, James and Henry grunted under their breath. That settles it, said Edward. Good night all, and we'll hopefully greet our visitor in the morning. And with that, the engines went to sleep. Dawn broke on the island of Sodor as Toby the tram engine was chuntering along his tramway with Henrietta. Toby had also been told about the rainbow sun, having met Henry at the harbour while he was collecting the flying kipper. Let's just hope he doesn't cause any trouble, he was saying to Henrietta. Toby passed through the valley when he heard a loud booming whistle. It was nothing like he'd heard before.
It's Rainbow Sun.
It couldn't have been Gordon, he said to himself. He's not meant to pull the express for an hour. The whistle echoed again. Oh dear, said Toby. I can see why the others were worried. It sounds like this rainbow sun is bigger than anyone expected. He carried on his way, wondering how the rainbow sun would make his entrance. Gordon was waiting at a water tower.
Oh look, we get to see
He was rather fed up. This wouldn't have happened if the water tower at the big station was working, he grunted. Sorry, Gordon, said his driver, it can't be helped. We have to wait for a train to pass. Typical.
So driver environments do exist in the Magic Railroad universe. We just didn't see them.
Gordon, that's all we need. There came a loud booming whistle. It was so loud it shook Gordon to the frames. Oh no, now we're in trouble, he groaned. Move it,
Rainbow Sun.
Come through, bellowed a jolly voice, as a large locomotive came clattering past with
Gordon's
2 beautiful
reaction.
saloon cars. What on earth? spluttered Gordon. The engine thundered past, whistle blaring and pistons pumping loudly. So loudly the rails shook and Gordon felt rather tense. Before long, the engine was out and away and Gordon was allowed to set off again. Even Diesel didn't make an entrance like that when he returned, he said as he chuffed along.
So I guess Rainbow Sun came through the magic buffers to get to Sodor.
On the line. Gordon arrived at the big station and found Thomas already there with the visitor. Oh, Thomas, thank goodness, said Gordon. I do think we're in the presence of a monster. It was such a loud sight. You mean Rainbow Sun? Asked Thomas. He gestured over to the visitor, who was letting off his passengers, being greeted by Mr. Conductor. Oh, said Gordon, blushing. That's Rainbow Sun, is it?
Yep.
He's one of the jolliest engines you'll ever meet, said Thomas. I'm sorry about my presence there, Big Blue, Rainbow Sun called as he let off steam. I seem to have that effect on engines round these parts.
Yep.
By the way, Thomas, what's the best coal hopper to use? There's one near our shed, said Thomas. Help yourself. Thank you kindly. See you all later. Rainbow Sun puffed grandly away, and Gordon blushed a deep shade of red. Mr. Conductor made Rainbow Sun feel very welcome at Tidmouth Sheds. James, Toby, Henry, Percy, Edward and Thomas found him quite entertaining and jolly to say the least. but they were soon quick to discover that Gordon had remained strangely quiet since Rainbow Sun had startled him. "Never mind, Gordon," whispered Thomas. "Out of all the engines we've had over the last couple of days, I think Rainbow Sun's the best visitor we've had. Don't you agree?" Gordon looked at his buffers. He didn't need to say anything, and for Thomas, that was more than an answer in itself.
Yep. Is that it? Wow, the way Rainbow Sun just came through the station and came through and startled Gordon, he did. And Gordon thought he was a monster, only to find out what wasn't the case. Oh, wow. I love it. What is it with Gordon judging something before he's seen it and then getting calmer in the most funniest way possible? I mean, but why does Gordon always seem to get out of all the enemies who get calmed by some of their own remarks, Gordon's the one who gets it the most. First in shaping up, where he ends up getting calmer after making rude remarks about Henry's new shape, and now this, where he thinks that the Rainbow Sun will be a monster, only to realize who the engine what that Rainbow Sun was the engine that when partly he thought was a monster. Come on, Gordon. Gordon, how much more time are you going to get calm you are? But yeah, that was actually quite a good story. That was set after the events of Magic Railroad. So we get Splatter and Dodge leaving the island. We've got Drivers and Byrons existing in the Magic Railroad timeline, as you can see right there. And yeah, like I said, I assume Rainbow Song came through the magic buffers to get to Sodor from Shining Time. Wow. Wow, the way he made his entrance was really, really funny. It was. Yeah, really enjoyed this audio story and can't wait to react to Prehistoric Stephanie next. Do you want to see my previous Thomas reaction of an audio story or trains adaptation? I'll have to play this up on the top right corner of your screen right now. So I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, hit that like button for me. Let me know in the comments down below what you thought this audio story I reacted to. Also know in the comments down below what other videos you want me to react to next. Follow me on Instagram, follow me on TikTok. Links to both of them will be in the description down below. Share videos, bright new here, and about to get notified. Or if new videos in the post community tab. And I'll see you all in the next one. Bye!